I'm Heather from Going Batty, and today we are continuing in our Kitchen Basics series, and I am going to talk about knives and cutting and all sorts of stuff like that. All right, so if you look here, this is my knife set. Now, you don't have to have the most expensive knife set in the world. I will tell you, this is a Pioneer Woman knife set, and it's actually very good, and I really like it. So, so what are the knives that I feel like that you actually need? Well, this is not one of them. The steak knife, I feel like this is just a placeholder, but I don't use them very often. We don't eat steak all that much, so, and just the way that it's made, I feel like is not very functional. You either need a serrated knife or you need a smooth knife. I don't think you need like the combination knife, which is usually what a steak knife is. So one of I think the most important knives that you need to have is some sort of chef's knife like this. You can cut vegetables with it. You can cut meat with it, things like that. So if you're going to go for just like your basic knife, something like this, having one of those. The other one is a bread knife. You need a bread knife. If you're making bread, it's a lot easier to cut things with a bread knife. Cutting tomatoes are easier with a bread knife. The other one is some kind of paring knife. I have this one here, but actually the one that I really like is that one there because it's curved. And I'll show you why I like this one. So I'll take like an apple here, and that curve of it actually makes it really easy to peel an apple. So, and then you can just, I prefer a paring knife to like a vegetable peeler any day of the week. I just feel like a vegetable peeler, it's just a lot harder to work. And a paring knife, once you get the hang of it, is actually really, really easy. So you just go around like that, and it's just super easy to peel. And I feel like I go faster with a paring knife than I do with a vegetable peeler. So there you go. I mean, I got a little bit left on the bottom there, but it makes it really easy. Like if you're making apple butter or apple crisp or apple pie or something like that, and it takes that skin off really easily. So you can do that with a straight one too. But I find that this, and I've only ever seen them in her stuff. So it makes it a lot easier to peel something. So the other knife that I like now, like I said, I could cut with this chef's knife here. I could chop up onions, stuff like that, vegetables. But when it comes to vegetables and stuff, I actually like this one better. I feel like this one cuts better, and I'll show you what I mean. So what you do, and the other thing we're gonna talk about is cutting boards. Like I usually my vegetables, I have more that I need to cut. So that's my biggest cutting board. And my cutting boards are different colors. So this is for fruits, vegetables, whatever. This one here is for meat because I usually only do like one chicken breast at a time or something like that. And the smaller one, and I don't mix them because you can contaminate your food. But so if you're gonna chop something, this knife is really great. Like I said, you can do it with just a regular chef's knife, but when I cut an onion, I don't take the root end off. I go down through it like that and then pull off the peel that's not really great. That root end gives you something to hold on to while you're chopping. And that way you don't accidentally chop your fingers. So we're gonna just take that off, and I need an onion tonight for dinner anyway, so I'm gonna show you how to do this. Now, I am left-handed, so if you're right-handed, you'll just do this the opposite way. But I'm going to, you need to curl your fingers kind of under so you don't chop your fingers, and you can hold on to that little nub of the root right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in like a fan shape when I chop this. And that way you don't, when you're dicing, you don't have to like go in this way with it, cutting towards your hand. And then, like I said, curl your fingers up, hold on to that root end. And then you just go like this. And I just feel like that this straight edge knife, it has a little bit of a bevel like right here, but it just chops really, really well. So, and there you go. My onion is all diced up just like that. And I've gone all the way down, like that's all that's left of the root, just right there. And so that's gonna be ready to use in our dinner tonight. And I'll do it with this one too. I'll go run a little faster than I did with. So just like that. There. So that's all chopped up and ready to go. The other thing with your knives is if you want to keep them nice. Clean them off immediately. If you throw them in the sink, they're gonna get dull really quick. If you put them in the dishwasher, they're gonna get dull really quick. So usually what I just do is if I am using this, I'll just go wash it off and then stick it right back in the knife block. So, and then you're all ready to go. The other thing you wanna do is you wanna make sure that your knives are sharp. A dull knife will cut you quicker than a sharp knife will. And especially if you've been using dull knives and then you grab a sharp one, you will definitely cut yourself. So this is not actually, I wouldn't technically call this a knife sharpener. It like hones the edges. But you can pick one of these up. I think I got mine at Walmart. I think it was like maybe $7, $8. But what it'll do is every time you use your knife, you can just run it through here a couple of times and it'll keep that edge honed. So this one's a two-step one, so you just kind of pull it through like that a couple times and then do it on this side. And now your knife is ready to go. All right, so to review, like here's your chef's knife. This is a great one to have. I feel like this one's a necessity. It can do work with meat, vegetables, and everything. This one here, I think is a really great knife too. This is a new one to me. This is the first time I've ever really used one of these, but I like it when it comes to chopping stuff. So this one's really good. But if you had to choose between this one and say this one, I choose this one. This one here, that's your bread knife. That's one I feel like is a necessity. Your paring knives, I feel like either one of these, those are ones that you need. And then this one here is just it's kind of an in-between. I look at this one and I think more of a tomato knife because it is slightly serrated on the edge and it's smaller. So it would be easier to like cut a tomato with. Not absolutely necessary if you have the bread knife. The other thing I feel like you need a good pair of shears, like kitchen shears. If you're like cutting up a chicken carcass or something like that, it's a lot easier to have one of these that can snip through it. It's also good for, your herbs, like fresh herbs and stuff. You can cut stuff up with them. I feel like this is a necessity. If you don't want to buy them individually, because actually it might be more expensive to buy each knife individual. This here, it was not that expensive. And like I said, it's a pretty good, I had a knife set for nearly 20 years that my dad gave me. It was one that came from Costco. It was like a Wolfgang Puck one. And I just finally this year is like, I don't think these knives can be sharpened anymore. But this one is a good knife set. And it was, I believe, under $50. So you don't need to get, like I said, the biggest, the best, the most expensive. This is functioning and it works really well. Okay, so this is kind of a side note to knives. If you cut yourself, you need to make sure you have Band-Aids somewhere close in the kitchen. Always wash your cut out first. You know, you stop the bleeding, go over, clean it out real good, because you don't want to get an infection because you were, cutting something up and you just slapped the Band-Aid on it. But make sure you clean it up real good. You cover it with a bandage, things like that. Just be careful with your knives because they are sharp. You need to teach your children how to use them so they're just not like, hey, knives. It's something that I really worked with my kids. Like, okay, this is how you properly use a knife. So that's pretty much it. This is kind of a shorter video. It's kind of the basics of knives and everything. I hope you like this and more updates as we go, guys. Bye.